Electronics from the most extreme wrestling, and this is your AEW Dynamite review for June 17th, 2020. Back at the Daily's Place, previously a tag team championship match was set in place, and it will take place right here at the beginning of the show of Kenny Omega and Hangman Page defending their tag team championships against the Natural Nightmares of QT Marshall and Dustin Rhodes. Now, Dustin Rhodes last week was very concerned that QT Marshall was not going to have his eye on the prize. He wasn't going to be focused in the match, in this tag team match, because, well, he has this new hot thing. He's got this girl he's been talking to. Yeah, it's Allie, and he's afraid that he's going to be distracted by her and her magnificence, her beauty. I don't blame him. So, surprisingly, she was not ringside, but Brandy Rhodes was, because, well, you gotta get your shot of Brandy in somewhere, and here she is on this episode. Okay? Yes. Now, this was a pretty exciting match. Now, QT Marshall was doing a pretty good job of keeping his eye on the ball, keeping it in the match. However, the camera guys couldn't keep their eyes on the match so much, because we saw that Britt Baker was sending notes on a clothesline or whatever that was. It was some kind of contraption with a rope and like a string, and it moved with pulleys, and they were sending notes. I don't know. They're friends, they're enemies, but they love talking to each other. So it's not the last that we're going to see of Britt Baker. Even though her leg injury is keeping her from in-ring action, we're still seeing her while other in-ring matches are happening. So perhaps she's going to get more TV time than we might have anticipated. The commentary from time to time was bleeped out. I don't know why. I don't think people were cussing. Maybe they had previously recorded this match and they were saying things that were no longer relevant. Who's to know? I thought it was only going to be during this match, but it happened throughout the night. So mysteries abound in this match. However, Allie, she couldn't stay away for too long. I'm not complaining. She ends up showing up on the stage area, and Brandy is upset. She's literally upstaging this lady. And QT Marshall lasts longer with Allie standing on the stage than most guys probably could. He ends up getting beat, and Omega and Page, they retain their tag team championships with a good tag team match. And QT Marshall, he's pretty good. I mean, if his hair, if it was a lot fuller, it would look, See, the thing is, when I look at him, from some angles, it looks like he has a full head of hair almost, but then you see him from the back, and it's like somebody put like glue inside of a hat and then put it on him and then ripped it off. It's just like he's got the crown thing going on, but it's very sparse up in those regions, which isn't necessarily, it's not a bad thing at all. It's just his hair, man. I'm complaining about the man's hair. I'm sorry, but it's weird. There's something strange going on in his cranial region, is all I'm saying. Next up, we see a video of Anna Jay. She's going to put on a good show. She's the star of the show, etc., etc. A nice little thing for her. She's signed. She's part of the roster. I like her look. Yeah, her voice kind of throws me off. I don't know what kind of accent that is, but that's okay. I have an accent too. It just happens to be from a different region that I am not entirely familiar with. I think they said she was from Georgia. Is that a Georgia accent? I have some friends in Georgia and they don't sound anything like that. But I don't want to generalize. I don't want to generalize for the Georgia. All right? She is taking on Abaddon, and she's coming out. She does an entrance kind of like the ring girl, going to the ring girl. You know, that movie from 1999 where they're crawling out of the TV and stuff. I'm sure you've heard of this. She was doing that, and this lady does not blink. It is quite freaky. I don't know. Anna Jay cannot be from Georgia. I don't know what accent that is. Maybe I'm tripping. But in short order, Abaddon wins. It was a shorter match than I anticipated after you do this whole video package, and then you lose. So maybe this was more to show Abaddon. It was her debut here on Dynamite. I mean, they feature both of these ladies quite well, I thought, and Abaddon was freaking me out. I mean, the lady didn't blink. I was like, I don't think I can keep my eyes open that long. If I had to do a blink contest with this, like a staring contest is what they call it, I would lose. I wouldn't be able to do it. I just could not. Maybe it's the contacts. I don't know, but it was freaking me out is what it was doing. All right, so the Dark Order come out. Why? Well, Brody Lee's there, and Evil Uno is back because, well, I don't know. And they're numbered men in mask and sometimes not in mask. They're not really that uniform, are they? And they weren't wearing their business casuals, so are we not doing that anymore? I have no idea. And I don't really care. But they give Colt Cabana an envelope. It's a contract. I'm not really sure what it is. It looked like a contract. It had the little logo on the outside of the envelope and on the paper itself. That thing had a freaking letterhead about the Dark Order. That seemed a little strange, but man, they are official. And it makes sense. I mean, okay, Brody Lee, he wears a suit. It makes sense that he would be official. I mean, they have meetings, they have videos, they have a website. Yeah, that makes sense. But it is kind of weird when you look at it and you're like, the Dark Order has contracts to join their freak group. Okay, well, that just seems weird. But Brody Lee, he takes the hand of Anna Jay, and I mean, who wouldn't? And Tony Schiavone says he's making moves. And I was like, he sure is. And I don't blame him whatsoever. Next up, we have MJF taking on Billy. Old Billy Gunn, part of the Gun Club. I did see an independent wrestler that that I've met at shows. Tony Gunn. He had posted a video on Facebook kind of upset that AEW stole his gimmick, and they can just do that because he's been using it for years, and yeah, that kind of sucks. That really sucks. I can't imagine if I was doing something for years and then some wrestling company was like, yeah, you know what, we're stealing your shit, and yeah, cease and desist, quit using it, find another gimmick, who gives a crap. I would be kind of sad. I'd be like, oh man, I guess I'll just freaking shave my head and change my name. I'm gonna cut my hair and change my name. Oh, I'm not gonna sing that. Well, I mean, I just did, but you know what I mean. I'm not gonna sing it the way it should be. Oh, anyways, this is a good match. I mean, come on. You got Billy. He is, he works with these guys. He's helping train these guys, put matches I mean, come on. This guy has been around. He can do these kind of things. But MJF, he tries to run away like a coward, like he's scared, even though he's got Wardlow in his corner. But he turns it around. He starts going after the legs because you got to take out them legs. Billy Gunn is a tall man. He's got some tree trunks going on there, and you take those out, the big man can't walk, and he can't even do his famous move, which I'm not sure what they're calling it in AEW, but he does go for it. But MJF moves out of the way, and this is good because it was at one point after MJF had worked on it that Billy almost went for this move as almost a desperation move, and when MJF cowered himself away, that was basically all that Billy Gunn had left, it seemed. And Wardlow, he's on the outside, keep in mind. And when he finally does hit his famous move, Wardlow distracts the referee. Oh, Aubrey Edwards is like, what the heck, man? And there was a part also where MJF hits this calf crusher, right? He's doing the submission. And he's grabbing the ropes for leverage, because of course he is. But Aubrey Edwards, she kicks the arms out of the way, stops this move. It gave me flashbacks back to Earl Hebner. They used to reference Earl Hebner when they were talking about Aubrey, but we haven't seen Earl in years, and who knows where he is. So, hey, you got to build your own brand, and Aubrey is just Aubrey now, and she's freaking awesome. If you don't like Aubrey, I don't know what's wrong with you, man. She is a really good referee. She's really putting it down. And, as far as the other things that she does in AEW with the podcast, etc., things we don't see. All right, MJF, he slides on that ring, inside of the ring, his little dynamite diamond ring that he won in that tournament, and uses it. He punches old Billy right in the cranium. MJF wins. And what a freaking jerk. So that was great stuff. MJF, he's killing it. And he continues to do so. Now we have Jungle Express and MJF getting in a fight after this match. And the fight ensues and breaks down the barricade. It was such a fight. So, yeah. That was a thing. After this gets broken up, we see backstage it's the Six Gods getting interviewed by Marvez and basically letting us know that they are coming for the tag team championships, because why not? And Britt Baker, she is with Tony Schiavone now, and they are talking about Big Swole. And of course, Britt quickly gets upset about this, and then she wants to get out of there. She asks Reba to take her away, but all of a sudden we find out that Big Swole is behind the wheel of this golf cart, and they just redo the Undertaker and Stephanie bit where it's like, where to? And I'm like, do we have to reference WWE on every single show? I mean, I get tired of having to repeat that and tell you that that's what they're doing. It's just, it's not creative. It's barely funny. I mean, why parody WWE on every show? This is supposed to be your sports-based, not WWE show. I understand a subtle joke here and there, but every single week? I mean, when we look back and think about all the moments in AEW, it's like there's a lot of missed opportunities if you're constantly ripping off WWE. That's all I'm saying. You're just hurting yourself. And it's hurting my feelings. Now, Cody Rhodes, he is the TNT champion. And he's cutting a promo, and Arn interjects and lets him know that he's not ready for Hager. And I'm like, what do you mean he's not ready for Hager? I mean, I know he didn't win the title, and he didn't win this or whatever, but well, whatever. But come on, he's not ready for Hager. It is a way to build up Hager. We're not going to fight Hager tonight. So it actually makes a lot of sense the way they did it. And it does make him look tougher. So, yeah, at first I was like, well, that's a weird thing to say. But then I thought, you know what? That's actually pretty smart. But he will be defending the TNT Championship here tonight. And Hager is watching backstage as he defends the championship against Ricky Starks. Which this guy, they do a little video for him. And I'm like, okay. Okay. You know, I'm getting kind of like some of those rock story vibes, like I only had so many dollars in my pocket, but I followed my dream. And I'm like, yeah, I've heard this before. But, you know, he had such just fire and just, I believed him, and just that instant charisma. So, yeah, this guy is going to be somebody. If it's not going to be in AEW, it's going to be in some wrestling organization, because as he wrestles through this match, the dude can wrestle, the dude can talk, he just has that instant spark. Sometimes you watch preliminary matches and you'll see guys for the first time, guys and girls, and you're like, yeah, someday. But, you know, you see this guy, Ricky Starks, and you're like, yeah, they probably should have already signed this man. So they have a really good match. However, he was not used to that crossroads, apparently, because he gets hit with that. And Cody wins and retains his TNT championship. Yeah. So hopefully we will see more of Ricky Starks here in AEW. I think he is just a no-brainer to get signed within this company. Next up, we got the Super Bad Squad. And what a more apt name. I couldn't think of a better name than that for Sabian, Ford, and Havoc. They're taking on the Bucks. And this match was okay. I still don't really understand the Sabian and Havoc, but whatever, they're throwing tag teams together. There you go. Why not? I mean, these guys don't look like they'd ever hang out ever, period, ever, except for the fact that they're professional wrestlers. But as personalities, they couldn't be any further from each other, but they're so close together because they're tagging. This to me was kind of a typical Bucks match, and the Bucks won because they're the Bucks. After this, Butcher and Blade, they attack. I mean, they were eyeballing. They had their white shirts on. Like, what was it? Butcher had a 9-inch nails shirt on. They were wearing, like, these white beanie hats. Okay. They didn't have any blood on it, so, well, not yet. But they started attacking, and then FTR comes out and attacks, and everybody's attacking everybody. The Bucks super kick. FTR drops Butcher and Blade. Then FTR helps the Bucks do their little tombstone spot. So, yeah, I assume at some point we're going to see some matches between these guys. But for now, they're just going to be doing post-match beatdowns. That's what they're going to be doing. Yeah. Taz, he is recapping with Brian Cage as they record a video outside. Okay. And Moxley, he has a little video where he reminds us that he's a champion, in case you forgot, and that he has demons. What does that even mean? What do you mean you have demons? And, you know, he's always talking about that he's, you know, this whole idea that he's crazy. He's got demons. Like, what does that mean? I like him. I think he's a great talent, but these are kind of nebulous terms that he's talking about. Like, what is that? But he's going to take on Brian Cage, and I assume he's just going to beat him there at Fyter Fest. Unless Brian Cage wins and then we just hear a lot more promos from Taz. He didn't just instinctively drop his own catchphrase tonight, so that was a plus. I appreciated that. I sure did. Alright, we got Reba. She's finding Britt Baker. Britt Baker is in the garbage can. So Big Swole is so swole that she threw her and, I don't know, presumably her whole vehicle in the garbage. So yeah, she's quite strong there. And she can't, Britt Baker cannot get out because, well, her leg is broke. So Reba, she's running around in circles. I think she's hilarious. There's one part where she throws her phone up and catches it, and I was like, oh my God, is there concrete everywhere? Because you're going to break your phone. You don't even have a cover on that thing. You know what would happen if you dropped it? It would break, and it would break your heart. And it'd break my heart knowing that Reba got her heart broken. There was a spot where she was saying she's going to fire Reba, and Reba's like, oh, I'm going to be free. And then she just rehires her. And I'm like, the logic here is just, it's baffling. but it is hilarious. So, sometimes hilarity outweighs in AEW because it has to. Because if you didn't think it was funny, then, well, it would have definitely fell flat. Next up, speaking of flat, it's Flat Hardy. Matt Hardy, where he's just regular Matt Hardy. He's on commentary. And I don't recall there being any transformations while he was on commentary. I wasn't paying attention to him. I was listening to Tony Schiavone, honestly. But he was there. Oh, he was there. As it was Best Friends taking on the Six Gods of Jericho and of Guevara. Pretty good match here. Nothing spectacular. Guevara, he is awesome. I noticed that Dad Bod Chuck Taylor took off his shirt, so good for him. He used it as a weapon at one point. Jericho, he's got his bat. They used that aluminum bat in this match, but I guess the referee didn't see it or didn't care. Guevara, I thought was going to end the match. He hit this spectacular shooting star press, and it was a 1-2 no. Literally right after that, Trent gets up, does a big power move, and wins. What? Like, why do the shooting star press if you're going to kick out of it, instantly get up, pick up a dude with a big power move that takes a lot of strength? I mean, you just got your wind knocked out of you and you're able to just pick up a guy after getting shooting star pressed? Like, why didn't he just kick out at 0? Like, if he had that much energy and he was able to do this with such ferocity and such power, why even wait to 2 to kick out? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Sometimes I just don't understand the logic, but, sometimes I feel like I'm the only one. But other than that, it was great seeing Sammy Guevara. Chris Jericho looks like that man needs to work out some. I mean, he's looking a little Humpty Dumpty around these days. So I don't know what's going on with him. He's been in much better shape in the past year. I get it. People are just not feeling the whole working out thing. Just working out becomes difficult at some points. But just like that, Trent gets the win. But that's not really the important part now, is it? Orange Cassidy got peeled, man. He got pulped last week, and he did not forget. Apparently, he was holding a camera. He was pretending to be a camera guy and filming the match. So I thought to myself, hold on. So Orange Cassidy not only changed into these black clothes, into this disguise, but also worked the entire match as a camera guy. We're talking about the King of Sloth style. He just did one of the most elaborate ruses. He could have just ran through the empty crowd, but he went through all that. So he did more work here than he normally would ever do, except when he's in the ring and he's having a match like he did with Pac. So is it just mind games? Is he not truly as slothful as we are to believe? Because he is in good shape, and he's hitting these moves expertly, and he's doing a lot of action, and he's not really breaking too much of a sweat. Maybe he's just got us fooled, and maybe Chris Jericho bitten off a little more than he can chew. I hope he can deal with that citrus, is all I'm saying, because look, it's going to be Jericho and Cassidy going head to head July 1st or 8th. I don't know which day, because it's not one day, it's 2 days, and it's not back to back. It's a week apart. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to have to review this thing in 2 parts. Holy crap. But we end the night with Best Friends hugging it right there at the end. That is a feel-good way. This is a pretty solid episode, to be honest. I was really digging it. So I'm very interested to see what Jericho is going to do in the ring with Cassidy. Is he going to get in better shape? Maybe he's just got a little bit of that stay-at-home pudge, and he's in better ring shape than he might look. But judging by the match that Orange Cassidy and Pac had at, Revolution, I expect this match with Jericho to be very good, and I bet Jericho probably handpicked this himself. Boom, right off that Florida tree, right there in Florida, because they're at the Daily's place. Oh, because he wanted a piece of that match. He wanted to stick his straw in there and be like, I think I can have a good match with this dude. He's going to make me look good. He's going to look good. Everybody's going to look good at Fyter Fest. But until next week, catch you guys next time.